this. Next up, we have Nirmiti by Xtrullor, featured in Geometry Dash. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, become a member, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Support the channel as much as you want. And 2 disclaimers. Number 1, this is my first time hearing this, so I will be pausing a lot, as I will be pointing things out as I hear them and as I realize them. And number 2, this is recorded live on stream on a single take, so whatever happens, happens. With that said, let's do this. Nirmiti. Let's see what we got. Xtrullor. Nirmiti. Nice. Okay, so we start with this very lovely, I think it's a xylophone, having a fade in. So, fade in, oh, this is from the previous one. So a fade in is the opposite of a fade out. Fade ins are acceptable, fade outs not. So, fade in is basically you are playing some sort of loop and you are slowly turning up the volume knob of that. We are having this xylophone slash marimba, it could have been either, with delay. So delay is one of the 2 types of echo that you can get artificially in music, the other one being reverb. The way I explain these is delay is when you are at the top of the Grand Canyon and you yell, and, you know, it's going to take some time for the sound to bounce backward, so you're going to have a delay between you saying the thing and hearing it back. Reverb is on a slightly smaller scale, but still pretty large scale. Imagine yourself being in an empty church or a empty room, a hall, something like that, where, yes, there is echo, but it doesn't have so much of a delay. So, isn't the opposite of fade in, sudden out? No. I'm talking about 2 sides of the same coin here. So yes, we have that, and now we bring in some orchestral. I think there was a tuba, probably some trombones, bringing in, let's see where this goes. Okay, it's a synth that sounds a little bit like a brass instrument, and we're having now some I think violins. I think they're violins giving us a motif, not entirely a motif. They're just giving us some accompaniment over here. So let's see where this goes. Ooh, very nice. Some percussion. Oh! Okay, so we are having quite a few things going on here. Number 1, we had this moment of, you know, short moment of silence. We bring in the beat. We bring in the actual drums. We have what sounds like a choral sample, like, you know, chorus voices giving us some chords. What year did this come out? 8 years ago. So we are having some voices giving us chords, what are called block chords, which is basically just singing the chords, that's it. Singing the chords, that's it. Giving us just the dynamic of the chord progression. Chord progression is just the order of the chords, right? And we are having some of the elements that we had back here playing again with new instruments, and we are having what I think was either a trumpet or a violin giving us our motif. The motif being, of course, the smallest version of your musical idea, the essence, the seed from which everything else comes from. So, let's see where this goes. Okay, it was brass. It wasn't violins. It was a trumpet and a trombone sample giving us our melody. Ooh, a really cool synth there. Okay, and we switch things up. We bring in the bassy stuff, bringing completely into the EDM realm. And, yeah, it's a good switch. A lot of the ideas are still there. The dubstep, yes. Electronic, for me, I'm an outsider, dude. It's like asking the different shades of red to a dude. It's red. It's all red. So yes, it's very, very good. It almost reminds me of Transformers. I think Xtrullor, probably a big fan of Transformers because it's a very Transformers-esque logo. And it's a really, really cool switch between the orchestral to now the dubstep. We have an acceleration of the beat. We have the bass. Let's see where this goes. I like it. So we're having two halves to each individual repetition of this, to each instance of this, we would call a phrase. So a phrase is each time, each iteration of these. The first half is the dubstep whoop whoop sounds. Second half, which is the very tail end, so it's not exactly the second half, it's like the tail end of it, is some sort of melodic counter to it, so a melodic response. So we're having a call and response where the first part is giving us the nice bassy stuff. Second half comes up here, gives us the melody, so that then we can go back to the bass, then go up to the melody, that kind of thing, with the melody tail being a lot more short, to signify transitioning between the two, giving us cadence. Because once again, I haven't said this one in a while, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension, or you are releasing that tension. That point in the middle is called a cadence. And how is Xtrullor here making the cadence? He is removing the bass and just giving us those higher notes, giving us those leading tones into the next section. So, there you go. And yes, stride, indeed. And we have that going on as well. And another element that is being introduced here in the dubstep is the triplets. So, let me break down the whole concept, because triplets is a slightly advanced thing. So when it comes to music, you have three main elements: melody, harmony, rhythm. When it comes to rhythm, it is the use of time. How long things take to happen, what speed, when, all those different things related to time. We subdivide it into measures or bars. When it comes to these measures and bars, those are interchangeable concepts. You can say either of them. And these, the duration and the beat for those, are determined with a time signature. Time signature is going to be two numbers: upper number, lower number. Upper number is the number of notes in the bar. Lower number is what type of notes is going to be based off of. So in English, it's super easy to remember, right? So whole notes equals 1, half notes equals 2, quarter notes equals 4, eighth notes is 8, 16th notes is 16, so on and so forth. So in this case, 4/4 is 4 quarter notes in a bar. So that's how long, and that is the overall structure of our measures. So we're going to count it 1 through 4. We count each quarter note as a number. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the cool thing is, one whole note contains two half notes, one half note contains two quarter notes, one quarter note contains two eighth notes, so on and so forth. So in a straight bar, you're going to have 8 eighth notes in a 4/4 bar. So how do you count them? You count each beat in the number, and then in between, you use the term and. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So where does triplets come in? The concept of triplets in academia is the concept of tupleting, is when you cram in an extra note where there would usually be a certain number. So the most famous one is taking straight eighth notes, which this is what they are, to triplet, eighth note triplets. What does that mean? where you would have 2 eighth notes, now you have 3. And that's the difference. So in the same time that it would take us to play these 2 eighth notes, now we have 3. It gives you a sense of acceleration. So you have, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the way you count triplets is the number, first ta and second ta. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, we have 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 3 ta ta, 4 ta ta. Live cues after this one, Enzo. So do not request yet. So we have this, and you can hear that acceleration, right? So if we do, let's say we interchange them, right? 1 and 2 ta ta, 3 and 4 ta ta. So you have that sense of very smooth acceleration that triplets gives you, and this is something that you can scale smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and this is one of the elements that dubstep relies a lot on that inserting those almost random triplets here and there, sorry, I hit the microphone, to give you that sense of acceleration. It's a lot of fun, and it makes dubstep feel the way it feels. So I just wanted to point that out. Let's see where this goes. G sharp minor, nice. Nice, that's a nightmare to work with. So we remove the drums, and now we're building back up. We brought back that original xylophone / marimba that we had, and now we're bringing to the next section. With that synth. Oh, very nice. So yeah, you can hear how he's having on the beat following the bass, and then every once in a while he's just going to interrupt that and bring some other sample in, some other instrument in a syncopated way. So syncopation, now that we're on this whole thing, so syncopation is when you play in between beats. So on the beat in a 4/4 bar means whatever falls on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4, on those beats, that's on the beat. Anything in between, so any of the eighth notes, any of the triplets, anything else that is not on 1, 2, 3, or 4 is a syncopation. So what are we doing over here? The on the beat is the drums. The drums are giving us like boom, ba, boom, ba. And then leading from that, we are getting the bass giving us those amazing dubstep whoop whoop sounds, right? Like boom, 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 ba, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba. That giving us that whole feeling. So what are we doing when we bring these higher samples? We miss the beat. So we delete the drum beat from that moment and we play on the syncopation. We play the phrase on the syncopation instead of on the beat. And it gives you that very, very lovely. The ta-tas, or it could be on the ta-tas or on the ands, depending on whether or not we're doing this on the straight eighth notes or on the tripleted eighth notes, or if we are doing it on the tripleted 16th notes or the 16th notes, because it does go lower than that, right? So it depends on what the thing. So yes, the ta-tas would be off the beat. Phrasing. So, because we could have, like, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. So that is off the beat. Everything that is not the numbers being given to you by the time signature means off the beat. So everything else is off the beat. And you can really, really use that. Yep. I did say that, literally. And you can really, really, really mess around with all this. And this is how genres such as, let's say, funk can really, really sound incredibly fun. Because they figured out, if we use syncopation a lot, it's going to be fun. And that's exactly what they do. And of course, dubstep employs similar strategies. Let's see where this goes. Those were straights. Those were triplets. straights again. And yeah, basically we are having this combination and we are doing polyrhythms with this. So a polyrhythm is when you have more than one rhythm playing at the same time. So what are we doing here? The drum and bass or the drums or the drum kit are doing this on the beat straight eighth notes, and in the meantime we are having these other samples doing the triplets at the same time, and that gives you a polyrhythm. So Carol of the Bells kind of thing. So a polyrhythm is when you have two beats or two rhythms that would otherwise clash against each other working together. Carol of the Bells is the most famous one because it is a 3 against 2 rhythm. So how does it work? You play straight eighth notes, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, versus tripleted eighth notes, 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 3 ta ta, 4 ta ta. Together, you have that. And I'm a suburban boy. I'm a suburban kid. I grew up in the suburbs. So yes, now we have this, we're having this, and it's happening really fast, so it can be a bit difficult to catch here and there, but it is keeping the beat interesting, and it's just really fun. Let's see where this goes. And now we bring in the melody, a sample from that melody from before, from that brass trumpet. There we go. Do not request songs yet. Do not request songs yet. Oh, and now we have an orchestral break coming in. I just want to go back a couple of seconds. I'll explain that, Peon. Remind me after this. Yup. So we have a moment now in between. This is an orchestral break. It's not so much going off the ramp. It could be an off-the-ramp moment. Off the ramp is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial just means there is no official academic term that I'm using. I'm just using this for the purposes of making it easy to understand or to explain for me. And in this case, if you want to make your audience feel like they're suspended in the air, transition, waiting to see where you land, remove the drums. And in this case, we removed most of the drums. The downbeats are still there, with the downbeat being the start of the measure, right? We're still getting some of it, but now we're focusing on the orchestral bits over here. It's very, I like this about Xtrullor, how he combines the orchestral bits with the electronic bits. It's actually cool. Let's see. And we bring back that melody. And now a contrasting. So we bring now a variation of that initial xylophone slash marimba that we had. We have a variation here now, but we are now bringing some proper brass. Let me see here. Yep, there you go. Some proper trombones, some proper tubas, some trumpets, which, again, when it comes to orchestral music, instrumentation and orchestration are the study of which instruments go right for the right sound, right psychological response. Trumpets, trombones, tubas, brass instruments are very militaristic. Trumpets in particular, very, very triumphant. They are very difficult to use in real life. Very, very tricky to use because they are very loud. However, in an electronic environment, it's very easy to just not. So it's very easy to not overdo them in an electronic thing. And the triumphs, trumpets were used a lot in triumphs. Back when the Romans had their version of the trumpets, which were a version of the horns, but we're not going to get to that. So we have this now giving us this epic build-up. How do you do this? Bring trumpets, bring trombones, bring tubas. Have the brass, maybe French horns too. Have them do this grandiose, because that's what the brass is for. Grandiose stuff. Drums are horny? Indeed, yeah. And there we go. Some counterpoint. And now the brass takes, with some violins in the background, some violins doing some counterpoint. Counterpoint being the study of melodies. Usually when you have more than one melody working together, the violins doing a slight callback to some of the material we've used before, which is a very, very lovely thing to do. You always want to find new ways to use your already used material. Not just repeating it, but figuring out new ways of inserting the same melody in different ways. Now it's being used to highlight the new melody, which is just lovely. It's really cool. Let's see where this goes. Nice. And we continue building up. Ooh. So as you can hear, it escalated even further. How did we do that? Just make them play higher notes. Just make them play higher notes, which is something that you really can do with brass. What I would have done here is I would have made chords with the brass. When you want that brassy sound to give you extremely epic, warm feelings, build the chords. Like, have the tuba be the bass, have the trombones give you like the basic structure, and just make an open chord and just keep extending it as much as possible with as many brass as you can, which is usually, brass in an orchestra is usually going to be 2 trumpets, 2 trombones, a tuba, and you can even include the French horns, which you will usually have anywhere between 2 and 4. So really having the brass cover the entire range until eventually you have the brass covering the entire range of all the scales. That builds up. The sound of that is beautiful. Like, just the sound of chords being played on brass instruments is just... Let's see where this goes. Oh, we bring back the voices. And of course, one of the most crucially, devastatingly useful tools that a composer, a musician could possibly have. Silence. And now we are in climax territory. Oh, that's beautiful. And now we are having a set of doublings. We're having multiple doublings at the same time. We are having the brass, the violins, and the synth that had the melody playing the same melody, all of them together in their range, giving us a very open sense of covering a lot of aspects, a lot of octaves in the range, which fills up more of the space. I still would have said go for the brass chords because they sound incredible. This still works really well. And of course, we're in minute 4 out of 5 minutes. This is the climax. You are bringing back as much of your material as you can, as many of the instruments as you can. Right now, we brought back the violins, we brought back the synth. Let's see where this goes. And we repeat the melody, going even further. Joao, do not request songs yet. Not yet, not yet. Now we let the synth do it. Oh my god, don't request songs yet. Now we let the synth do the thing. Yeah, no worries. And yeah, we're now letting the instruments take their turns. And yeah, that melody extending through the double section kind of thing. Because one of the things that makes this melody so epic is that usually when you have a phrase, you will have a certain number of measures. and the certain number of measures, we discussed time signatures and everything. Usually it's going to be in a certain amount of determined measures. So usually these phrases are going to be 4 to 8 measures long. So at the end of 4 measures, you can expect the phrase to either repeat or change. So what made, same if it was an 8 measure phrase kind of thing. However, how did the melody become so cool and epic in this one? What Xtrullor did, which is something that I love doing, it's something that some of my favorite songs do, is that you have a steady structure doing these 4 measure, 8 measure phrases, and you cement that, but then you bring in one melody that, let's say this is block of measures number 1 leading to block of measures number 2, right? And each time there is a clear barrier, measure thing 1, set 1 ends, set 2 begins. But here, what we are doing is not only do we have the melody playing throughout both, but in the moment of transition, the cadence where you were expecting the melody to end and start again and start the next phrase, you hold the note in what is called, in this case, a ritardandi. And the ritardandi is basically you hold a note through and you then keep the melody going up. The opposite of a ritardandi is a suspension, which is just that you hold a note, you delay the resolution of that note, and a ritardandi is going upwards and the suspension is going downwards. And in this case, the melody was going up and up and up. And at the moment of cadence, where usually throughout the entire piece so far, the melody would end, then the next section starts and the melody starts over, this one held the note, pushes through, and keeps going upwards. And that is just one of the incredibly beautiful things that you can do when you mess around, when you completely contradict the structure that you have in this type of beautiful way. It's just, I love it. I love it. By the way, if you want to hear a song, it's death metal, by the way. It's melodic death metal, but a song that does this really well is Fragile Flesh by Morsprinkipumest. They, in the chorus, they do it really well as well. It's the same concept, done a little bit faster, but there you go. Now you know why the melody sounds so epic. Because it pushes through, victoriously, triumphantly pushes through the structure that had been set throughout this entire thing, so. Welcome back, Cecilia. I hope you enjoyed it. There we go. Now we bring back the motif of the xylophone at the start with the brass doing those chords. The brass is not entirely doing chords. It's kind of doing like little calls and response. Man, just do the brass chords, dude. Do the brass chords, man. The brass chords are so cool. They're so nice when you play some brass chords, dude. The sound is just... Let's see. So yeah, you're having the violins doing these phrases. Ooh. And you have one last note, and now we go to ambience noise of a forest. Nice! Nice, there you go. So it was an abrupt end to a very beautiful piece. That was awesome, dude. That was awesome. Like, Xtrullor, dude, if you ever see this, use the brass chords. Use the brass chords. You'll thank me, like... octaves away, just lowest note on the tuba, then have your trombones playing in fifths, then have the trumpets, or have the French horns in between, and the trumpets doing the lead, and no, it was not a fade out. In this case, technically the ambience fades out, but very good. It was a very fun Yeah, use the brass chords. Yeah, use brass chords, dude. It sounds awesome. So yeah, there you go. That was Nirmiti by Xtrullor. What a trip that was. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, do not... I didn't say go. I didn't say go. Hang on. Let me do the thing. So, if you're watching this on the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, become a member, turn on notifications, support the channel all the ways you want. And if you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down below. And, of course, if you want to request songs, now if you're on the live stream, now you can start requesting. If you're not on the live stream and you're watching this on the YouTube, go to the Discord server, link down below. And go to the LFA requests channel, follow the instructions there on the pinned messages so that you can get a request there if you're not on the stream. And if you want to catch these streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you want to know what time that is for your local time zone, links available down below to the Discord and the Twitch, which have the stream in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel where we put the VODs of the games that we play of the after shows. Games are Basterd, link down below. Same username as James are Basterd. Just swap the J for a G and you got it. And yeah, there you go. That was Nirmiti by Xtrullor, featured in Geometry Dash. Really good. That was insane, man. That was insane. But yeah, let's move on.